What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to CRÜZR Radio, episode number 8. I'm your host, Wesley Hill, joined with my co-host, Mr. Hunter Harris, intern Jace Rumpf on the podcast, and our local gunslinger, Mr. Terry Shores. This man is a big duck hunter, a big buck hunter, and there's no else way to put it except for the fact that this man's life is hunting. I'm excited to talk to you guys about him. Let's get into it. What's up, guys?
What up, man?
Not much. What are you guys into? College? Terry, thank you for coming on the podcast, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Been a good day.
Dude, it's been a great day. We're going to get into it here in just a second, too. Mr. Co-host, Hunter, you got any updates about season so far? Killed anything?
I haven't killed anything. Haven't been much, to be honest with you, but cameras are hot.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes,
I think it's on.
Dude, I definitely think the rut started.
Oh, I 100% think it has.
Dude, I've got a lot of photos of different bucks fighting on camera. Nothing big, but
Right.
But still, I mean, a lot of action going on.
Oh, yeah.
While we're in the field and while we're
Oh, yeah. I got
the field.
a bunch of videos of bucks and does running.
Yeah, dude, I've got so many. What about you, Jace?
Been a little bit, not as much as I like, but I'd killed a doe, I guess, in 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm going back down there Tuesday, and then headed to Kentucky Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So should be fun.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, Terry, we had a hell of a morning.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
Literally, well, there was one way that I got better, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with what happened.
Yeah.
So
We'll be back.
yeah, no, we will. We will. Hopefully, muzzleloader starts for us this Friday.
Woo!
I'm excited. Literally just got a muzzleloader right before the podcast.
That's all right.
I'm excited, dude.
It's fun, man. Muzzleloader's my favorite.
Is it really?
It is just because the time that it happens in Tennessee is usually prime time, rut-wise.
So is it 1 week or 2 weeks?
It's 2.
Yeah,
2
it's
weeks?
2.
Okay. And then rifle starts.
Yep.
Well, I think there's a week in between that's archery
Yeah, it's
only.
archery only.
And then we roll into rifle.
Oh, that's
But most of the time by rifle, it's about wrapped up, if not done.
Yep, the peak
The-
2 weeks
the
or
rut.
those 2 weeks of muzzleloader.
Because me and my dad were talking this weekend, and we were like, man, by the time that most people are like, it's on, like it's hot and heavy, right? Like I think it's wrapping up.
Yeah.
What kind of muzzleloader did you get?
A CVA?
Yeah, CVA Wolf.
Wolf.
That's what I got, man.
I have no clue. Terry
Yeah,
hooked me up.
stainless barrel. I mean, pretty solid gun to start out muzzleloader hunting with.
That's all you
Yeah, I'm
need,
excited.
man.
Yeah, my little brother's wanting to get into hunting now, and so I was like, what a perfect way to like get him into it right when muzzleloader starts. That way he doesn't have to gear up with a bow or anything like that. Just get in there and
Yeah, and
try
you
to get
don't have
stuff
to
done.
drop a ton of cabbage on, like a CVA Wolf. I mean, you bought one today, so
yeah.
what it run you?
About $200,
Yeah,
somewhere around in
$200,
there.
exactly.
And then with you gave me some primers, and then I had to buy
Powder and
Powder.
projectiles.
and I think my whole cost is about $280,
Yeah, 300, somewhere around there.
which is solid.
Oh,
Solid.
yeah. I mean,
That's cheaper than a good bow. So
100%.
yeah.
And you take care of it, it'll last you forever.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. Well, I want to get into our hunt this morning, man. Terry, I'm gonna let you take it away and talk about it.
All right, yeah. So the spot that I the other night pulling into my driveway, kind of shined a field and seen some really nice deer out there, and went the next morning, got permission, and went and scouted it. Found a spot where I thought they were going to be, and put some sticks up, and came back this morning and put the hunt in there, and got to see plenty of buck activity, and even got to let the air out of one.
Yeah. It was Terry's first buck with a bow.
Yeah.
So did it happen pretty quick?
It was honestly pretty cool because we got in. We were trying to get in about 6 o'clock, and by the time we finally got finished set up, it was about first light.
Is it still? So it's still dark at 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And but how long do you think we were sitting in the tree? Maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 7:12.
Yeah, 7:12
Before it started breaking.
No,
Daylight?
like when the deer came out. But
Yeah.
like this morning, sunrise was 7:07, so like 6:40-ish, you had enough light to shoot probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and we were just sitting there, we were talking, and then all of a sudden he just whispers. He's like, buck, buck, buck. And I just turn my body around. And there's literally a buck, probably 26, 30
By
yards.
itself?
Yeah, by itself. And he's like, I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to shoot it. And dude, just I look over and his hand's shaking, grabbing the bow. And then he pulls it off, pulls back. Most beautiful shot I could have ever seen without ranging it in. I mean, it was literally most ideal shot.
Yeah, it took the perfect heart shot, just
How far was it, you think?
about 30 yards.
About 30 yards?
Yep.
Yeah, nose wild. He ran probably about 20, 30 yards and just stood still, and just blood was flowing out.
Like I turned around and I could just see like every second this just spurt of blood coming out of the side, and we're like, yeah, that's a good hit.
What kind of heads are you shooting?
Schwackers, son.
I love Schwackers.
Yeah.
For the money, you can't.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think that was probably like a good selling point for me for the Schwacker.
Oh, dude, I know a lot of people that shoot
Buckets
Schwackers.
of blood. Like they do their job.
Yeah, solid hit too, man. I mean, that couldn't have been more ideal. He probably went another 10, 15 yards and just tried to bed down under some broken
Piled
brush. Yeah, and just passed away, man.
Yep. Yeah. Really, really good, clean, ethical shot. And
Yeah, it was solid. The and what was it? Probably about 10 minutes later, we decided to grunt call and snort wheeze a little bit and see what we could get coming in. And then Terry grunted, snorted, and then not even 3 minutes later, the biggest buck I have ever seen in my entire life while sitting in a tree.
Really?
Yeah,
thing was a moose.
dude
By itself?
and he was only a 6-point man. Like
So, Monster 6.
A
huh?
monster
monster.
6.
and dude,
Did
we
he come
tried-
in like pissed?
Well,
He came in and kind of went to his scrapes that I'm assuming they're his, since he went to
Right.
them as soon as he
Yeah.
came up there. He heard that grunt and snort wheeze and was like,
like,
who's in my house?
yeah.
And but he never came any further than his scrape line. He
Yeah.
was just making sure that I guess that nobody had been in his bedroom, and he was happy with it and went out of our lives hopefully until this weekend.
I was fixing to say, so if you had a muzzleloader, it would have been.
It would've been game
yeah.
over. It would've- it
He'd
would've
have been
been game.
done.
I mean, he was just out of range for
About?
bow. He the closest he got was about 60-ish yards.
Yeah, that's a little far for me.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
30's like,
Pushing it.
That's my
Yeah.
comfort zone. Really, is about 30.
yeah, I practice up to 30.
Yeah. No, it was wild. I was feeling it, man. I was like, this is the day. It's gonna happen right here.
Well, I mean, it sounds like y'all had some good action anyway.
Oh, we had some great action, and then it was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours go by. We ended up having, was it 3 or
It was
4?
four. Yeah,
four
four
does just ran into us just randomly.
One was
And-
like right under my butt.
Yeah, it was wild, and like they came from upwind from us.
Was you packing a bow?
Yeah.
I was sling one.
I was trying to. I got set up to, but they ended up crossing behind Terry, which was my weak side, and so I tried getting set up. I pulled back on one.
She couldn't get comfortable.
I didn't. It was not going to be a clean shot, so I was just like, it's just better that I don't take this.
Right,
And so
yeah.
Terry flung another one trying to get it. Missed a little bit, but it was.
Yeah, it might have been about a foot low.
Yeah.
They
But
may have been a
did
little
you
further
range
than I
that, or-
thought. No, they may have been a little further than I thought they were.
Yeah. But dude, it was a really, really good morning for hunting.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't complain. So hopefully Saturday we're gonna get back in that same exact tree, and he's gonna take that same exact path.
If he does, it's lights out.
Oh
He's strapping on the orange this weekend, though, boys.
Oh yeah.
I'm pumped.
Dude, it's that time of year, man.
I know it. Like we're fixing to get into. Although those public land hunters, they probably hate this time of year, but
The Orange Army.
Evan
For
called
sure.
it a war zone. He said he was done hunting public for the next, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
yeah,
Golly, dude.
it will. It'll be saturated
Yeah.
with people. Unfortunately, but fortunately,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I predominantly hunt private, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm spoiled on the private land.
yeah, me too.
How many acres did you say you had?
About 5,000 total permission acres between all
All the
the
different
farms.
properties?
Yeah.
I don't know how many acreage wise, but I mean, I got a bunch of farms or a bunch of pieces of property that I got permission on that I've never stepped foot on.
For real.
Like I got a handful that I like, and I get, consistent pictures. And
Yeah, I was like, today we went and checked out another spot that I've had permission on for 5 years, and I've kind of hunted it a little bit. I shot a doe out there one time, and she ran all the way to the bottom of the deepest holler in Jackson County.
yeah, that'll put a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, when you have to cut one up and pack it out, I knew right then and there that I probably wasn't going to hunt there a whole lot.
Or it'd have to be a
It'd have
freaking
to be
big
a
movie.
giant.
Yeah.
There's some big deer in Jackson County.
And I actually had some pictures 2 years ago of a double main beam buck out there. It was a super cool deer, but never seen him after that.
We got a farm in Granville. I'm telling you, man. It's wildlife galore.
For real.
Oh, yeah.
How often are you hunting it?
I mean, I've hunted it a lot my whole life. I ain't hunted it a lot the last 2 or 3 years.
How many other people hunt it?
Nobody, just me and my dad. And
Golly, dude, you got to get out there. There's no telling what's on
little
it.
cousins every now and again. Oh, I mean, it's not, there's deer that live there, but it's more of like a travel corridor than anything.
Yeah.
Like right now, the rut starting, dude, it's, I mean, there, you can see 10 different bucks a day if it's hot.
Well, just send me the coordinates. I'll take care of it for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was up to me, I would.
We'll try to figure
Let's
this
talk
out.
to Pap.
Yeah. Well, something else I want to talk about. You're not just a buck hunter. You are a duck hunter as well.
Yeah, I started hunting as pretty much a deer hunter only, doing a little upland hunting. In the last few years, I started waterfowl hunting, and it has completely consumed my hunting career.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, and that's part of the reason, the buck I shot today, I'm super happy about him. Most people probably wouldn't be super happy about him, but for me, it's about filling those tags before duck season starts, because I know once duck season starts, you're not catching
Once
me in the
that
deer woods.
switch is flipped, it's
Yep.
Yeah.
a lot of people. I mean, I've heard a lot of similar situations. I got a buddy that's pretty, predominantly turkey and deer hunter, and he's gotten into waterfowl the last year or two. Like Terry said, once waterfowl season gets here, it's a switch.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what's your deal?
Well, like
Dude,
my
kill
first
some
duck
ducks.
hunt, I went out on Dale Hollow and killed a golden eye. Was my very first duck, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." And then I didn't get to hunt the rest of that season. And then the next year, like the early goose season, I just happened to get this idea. I was like, I kind of want to go goose hunting. And one of my wife's friends, her uncle had a pond, and it had like 60 geese sitting on it. And I was like, well, can I hunt them? And they give us permission. And the very first shot that I fired out of my new shotgun that I bought for duck hunting, because, when you get into duck hunting, you got to go spend a ridiculous amount of money on all
That's
the
what
gear.
everybody says.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But the very first shot I fired out of it, I killed my first goose. And then that same day, we killed a goose banded in Fort Severn, Ontario, Canada. And when you get to learn that migration path and all the cool things that those birds are doing, and
Right.
that's just, to me, that's super cool. With a deer, they pretty much live within a certain square mile radius.
Yeah.
They only see a certain amount of things, where, these birds are flying from Fort Severn, Canada, and coming down here. So it's just cool knowing what they've done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have you guys seen that pond that's like radioactive or
has Montana?
Yeah, it's got like acid in it, and there's some people that work for their wildlife
They get
association.
paid
Yeah, they
that's
sit there
wild.
and they've got like 50 cals, 270s, a bunch of just giant rifles, and they just sit there, and all they do is just shoot at the water to try to make sure that birds don't land in the pond.
You never seen this?
No.
I think I have
dude,
seen
that's
that.
nuts.
They got like sound machines too.
Yeah, they got like sound machines, they've got drones, like crazy equipment, and their whole job is just to make sure that migratory birds don't land in the water.
That's insane.
Yeah,
It's an awesome job.
Yeah,
I
sign
mean,
me up.
That'd be boring now.
Yeah, Vice did a documentary on it. I'll have to send it to you. It's either Vice or Vox. I
So
can't
why?
remember.
Can you remember why it's radioactive?
It's
They have like a
The
spill
mines,
or
isn't it? The
Yeah, there was
mines
like- it was-
spraying off and
Yeah, it's either radioactive or acidic. I can't remember, but I think it's acidic. But it was like a lime mine or something,
Yeah.
and because
Either way,
of
it's toxic.
yeah, it's very toxic for I was about to say
Birds.
dogs, but birds,
Probably
And,
dogs too.
Yeah, I mean anybody really, but literally these guys' job is just to sit there and make sure that they don't land. And I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it was like if they're in the water for more than like it's like 15, 20 minutes or something like that, that the bird will die.
Wow.
And so that's literally just their whole job. And then these guys are obviously big duck hunters as well, so they're tracking everything and then on the side going to a different property. But
We know these guys land right over there at that pond because we scared them off of here. So tomorrow morning we're all off, guys. Let's
Yep.
go over there. You guys make sure to shoot at daylight. That way, you know.
That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
what they
pretty
do
I mean, if that was my job, that's what I would be doing as well.
for sure. But yeah, man, everybody that goes duck hunting that ain't never been says the same thing.
I've never been.
Oh,
Like
yeah. If you don't want
you
to be a
haven't
duck
been?
hunter, don't go.
I've never been because, like, I'm from Morristown, which is like east of Knoxville, about an hour.
Yeah, ain't no ducks out there.
Move your mic.
And they say something about flight patterns, like they don't fly over the mountains in the Smokies because it's only like 30 minutes from my house. You're right in Appalachia. So, like, if you want to drop $75 to not go see a duck on Cherokee Lake, then do it.
Might
But
have some resident geese.
that's what they say. Basically, everybody that goes out there kills geese. They don't really kill ducks. That's what they say, at least. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always heard there's ducks in West Tennessee, but I don't know that to be.
Yeah, but
See, because I've always heard Arkansas was like the Mecca, but everybody that like hardcore duck hunter that I've talked to is like Illinois.
I don't know, man. Kansas is becoming the mallard
Kansas.
capital. That's
And the reason they all say is because, by the time they get to Arkansas, dudes have been shot at, they're freaking starved to death and everything else.
yeah.
So the flight patterns, do they change? Is it like
No, they pretty much have a few flyways across the United States, and like that's where the main.
Is it instinctual?
I'm assuming so, or because I don't know why else they would do it.
Right.
It's just some kind of natural thing clicks in their brain, says, "Hey, it's gonna
crazy.
be warmer down there than it is here, so let's
Oh,
go." And but yeah, it's crazy. Like last year, I went out on a snow goose hunt in Arkansas, Wynne, Arkansas, and driving in, pulling into the lodge, there was probably 1,500 snow geese sitting on this one field, and I'm like jacked up. I was like, "This is at the lodge. There's 1,500 birds sitting out here." And the guide gets there, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, "Are these the birds we're gonna hunt?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "That's not enough." I was like, "What?" And he said it was a 500,000 bird feed.
What the heck?
Yeah, it was like a 600-acre field, and when we went and watched it the night before, it was just white.
Oh my god.
It was one of the most amazing
Literally,
things.
They're
I've ever
all
seen.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when they all like took off at the same time when they were going back
Oh,
to
dude,
their
I bet that was wild to watch.
I've got some cool video of it.
Yeah, you'll have to show me.
But like when they were leaving there
Probably
to
a
go back
cool
to
sound.
roost, and snow geese are very noisy. Like
They're like more high pitched than like a Canadian goose.
Yeah, it's got a weird sound to it,
They're
but
pretty. They're
they-
beautiful.
After you go on a snow goose hunt, though, you never want to hear another one again because we have Fox Pro collars running wide open with snow goose sounds. It's the only waterfowl hunting in the U.S. that you're allowed to use electronic calling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they have a conservation season, and basically the conservation season is exactly that. They're trying to kill as many snow geese as they can because they're wiping out the tundra. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the whole thing is like save the tundra.
Yeah.
And
So by wiping out, are they just foraging all the plants?
just
or?
eating everything, man.
Oh,
Golly.
heck.
Yeah.
So it's a big like population control issue.
Oh yeah.
Are
yeah.
snow goose good to eat?
A lot of guys say they aren't, but I'll tell you, the ones that I brought home and ate were way better than our local Canada geese.
Yeah.
So I'll take all the snow geese if anybody doesn't want them.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I've never had it before, so I'll try it. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'll give it a
it's
shot.
it's really good.
So is there like a speckled belly goose?
Yeah. So specs, they've got
That's different than a snow
yeah,
goose.
yeah. But the thing that you got to watch out for when you're snow goose hunting, because the conservation snow goose season is after all your waterfowl seasons have ended.
Oh, okay.
And you're out there, you're hunting snow geese with mag tube extensions on your gun, like running a 10-round mag tube extension. Basically, the only rule is you have to use steel.
Right.
Put as many shells in your gun as you can, kill as many of them as you can, and use electronic collars with decoy spreads of like 100 dozen decoys.
So it's a war zone, basically.
It gets pretty Western. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they come in these tornadoes, is what the spins, and it'll literally look like a tornado of snow geese as they're coming down to land in your decoys. It's awesome. Definitely one of the
awesome.
coolest hunts I've ever been on. Shot a case of shells in 2 days. My arm was very sore.
Oh, I bet.
Did y'all
3-inch
kill a bunch, though?
Oh yeah. 3-inch number 2s out of a 12 gauge all day long. Arm was sore. Lots of dead birds. Lots of cleaning birds.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. When you get back to the lodge every day, you had to clean them birds, and there was a pile of them.
Gosh. That's wild, dude. So you, to keep going into duck hunting, when your season starts with duck hunting, we've talked about this in the past a little bit, but you have how many ponds?
This year, I'm around 100 ponds.
Golly.
Yeah.
And how many days a season are there for?
There's 60 days to a duck season.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
60 consecutive days?
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
When does that run?
So you get to hunt them the Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving, and then they close it down for a week, and then it starts on the following Monday this year, December 5th.
Okay.
Yep.
That's small.
But
So that's plenty of time to deer hunt.
oh yeah, I get it in.
I mean,
and
once
then-
the hot stuff's over, you.
yeah,
I mean, that sounds like ideal to me.
it's my winter break, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be taking a
I'd,
trip.
I'd love to get into it, but I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah. Well, you would start by spending a crap load of money.
yeah. So like the
I
first
just got a nice shotgun.
Oh,
That-
for real?
Yeah, but
probably a
it's more of
turkey
like
gun.
It's a dove gun.
Okay,
Okay.
well, that'll work.
Like it's a nice.
Is it 12 gauge?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, shoot 3-inch.
Yeah, it'll shoot 3.
That's all
It's
you need.
what is it? My brain just left me. CZ 1012.
Yeah, that's a nice shotgun.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Load it up with some 3-inch number 2s.
I
and
don't
go
know,
whack some
man. I'm
ducks.
scared to death to put a scratch on it because it's so pretty. My dad bought it for me. He bought us matching ones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I just, we're dove hunters now, ain't we?
Yeah. No, we definitely are.
He did.
I wasn't
I don't
expecting
know if
that.
you ever heard the podcast, but I've dove hunted a bunch of times, but this year kind of rekindled my fire. And
Well, see, dove
that's
season
wild.
runs concurrent with goose season for that early goose.
Okay.
So it starts on
see, I
September 1st.
told you I thought they had it.
Yeah, so like the 1st of September is like a holiday for me, like first thing I do every morning on September 1st, I'm going goose hunting. And then after I get done goose hunting, we go hit the public field and have a good shoot with my buddies.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So is the early season and late season, how does it differ?
So your early season, you have a bigger bag limit. You can kill 5.
Okay.
And then in the second and the late season, you can only kill 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And that's 3 a day.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a total number or
Well,
just 3 a day?
60 days of the season and plus the early season. I mean, you can kill that many a day, whatever the daily bag limit is. If you can kill it every day, man.
That's like
That's
what?
a lot of
That's
birds.
180, ain't it? It's what, 6
I think so,
times 3?
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you figure
It's
if
a
you
good
if you
old-
have like just exceptional hunting and you don't live in Middle Tennessee and you've got access to a lot of birds,
Pretty good.
you
Yeah,
can kill
I'm not.
those 3 geese a day, 6 ducks a day.
That's pretty awesome.
So you could theoretically kill 9 birds a day.
See, because I mean,
Well, and then you add hooded mergansers in there, and
what'd you just say?
yeah, hooded mergansers, man. Like everybody talks trash about them. Probably my favorite duck. They're dumb, and they always come in when you want them to.
Oh, well, that's my kind of duck.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna take somebody and you want to get them hooked on duck hunting, go find a pond that has some hooded mergansers on it, and
Let them tear them up.
yeah, like literally throw 2 decoys out there and don't call at them, don't anything. They're going to fly over, they'll see those 2 decoys, and they're just going to drop from the sky, and it's going to sound like B-52 bombers just coming over your head.
Gosh.
It's pretty awesome.
my buddy that duck hunts, I was like, I mean, if I'm going to go, I'd rather go goose hunting. He's like, dude, they're hard to hit. And I was like, I mean, that's why I'd kind of like to go goose hunting because I think they would be easier to hit. He was like, dude, they're kind of hard. They're harder than what you think to hit.
Have you ever noticed when they come in, they flip upside down so they can see you better?
Yeah, I see how they kind of...
Dude, they completely flip upside down and flip back and look at what's below them before they land.
Because, like, you hit them in the body, then you're not going to...
Oh, no. No, you hit them with, like, some 3.5-inch BB, they're going down. Like, 15-pound bird falling from the sky.
That's my kind of hunting.
The thud and the splash. Goose hunting is awesome.
I figured you had to get out there on the head.
Yeah.
I had a buddy offer to take me from Tech. I guess it was like a week ago. I didn't really say anything about it. I guess I got to take him up on it now because this sounds like my alley, you know?
It's, like I said, though, if you don't want to be a duck hunter, don't go. Because if you go and you have a good shoot, you're going to be a duck hunter. And
well, let me ask you this, Terry. Do you got a dog?
I do. Yeah.
See, I think that would kind of draw me to it a little bit.
So back in one of the earlier podcasts, Justin was on and he was talking about his first duck hunt and how the dog went and got him. So that was actually me that took him on that first duck hunt.
Gotcha.
So that was a pretty cool one. Hooded mergansers, like I said, old reliable.
Got him.
Yeah, they
Sucked him right in.
Yeah. Now he's like, when's duck season start? So yeah,
he's trying to get his deer hunting now, Roy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and like I said too, having the dog and like
what kind of dog you working with?
Weimaraner.
Weimaraner.
Yeah, kind of little unorthodox dog for around here.
Good retrieving dog, though.
Well, the thing I like about him is he's a really universal dog. He upland hunts. He'll
sub doves.
Yeah. I mean, he'll retrieve doves. He'll point pheasants. I mean, I've took him out to some of the preserves and like. He'll point. I can send him in. He'll flush, and then after I shoot it, he'll go retrieve it. So, super cool dog to have hunting.
Do you have to train your dog?
Well, the good thing with him is
some of them are just naturally.
Well, the pointing instinct, man. Like it didn't take long to teach him. Like, all right, this is what you wanted to point at. Yeah, because like he would naturally go outside and like. There'd be a robin and a cardinal sitting on the fence around my house, and he'd run out and he'd just be on full point out in the yard. And
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it was just a matter of taking that and putting it in the scenario that I wanted him to use it in, and
just kind of honing that in.
Yeah,
I got a black lab, and of course, she just turned 5, and maybe I don't know. Terry may know more about this, but I don't know how too old a dog is to train, but dude, she, no doubt, if a man got a hold of her, I mean, she's super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. Labs are smart dogs.
I think she'd make a great duck dog for somebody. Of course, I'm not willing to give her up.
I was saying, you giving this dog away?
No,
what are you doing?
She's a British lab, so she's a little bit smaller. But golly, she's got a ton of drive. But she's like, on meth 24/7.
Yeah, imagine that amount of energy, but in a dog that weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah,
that's my Weimaraner.
She might weigh 40 pounds.
Yeah, my dog is very big, which is cool. Like his first retrieve, like in the field, was a goose.
I was fixing to say, I would think a goose dog would have to be a pretty. Like she'd have to be legged up or something.
Well, it was funny. Like it was a crippled goose, and I sent him on it, and he runs down there, and like a couple of days before this, we'd been upland hunting, so he was pointing, and I send him on this goose, and he gets down there, and he turns back and looks at me.
Like, do you?
And then
are you looking at this?
And then he stops and goes in full point.
You're like, no.
Yeah. So I'm like beeping him. I'm like, rip, fetch, and finally that goose tried to run away. It was over. That prey drive kicked in, and he was like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to do.
So he high-eyed him, and it was over.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. It's. I'm telling you, waterfowl hunting.
Well, my uncle, he got into it, and he had a male black lab, and he worked with a guy or was buddies with a guy in West Tennessee that fooled with dogs. He didn't like advertise training dogs, but he paid him to take his dog. So they come back. He brings the dog back after training it or whatever, and they go on a duck hunt. And my uncle sent him out there. Of course, he'd come back with him with the dog and kind of trained him on the commands and stuff, and kind of showed him what to be doing and handling the dog or whatever. And he sent him out there, and he said he sent him out there, and the duck wasn't dead, or it was a goose or something, and it pecked him on the head. Well, the dog come back, and my uncle was like, what do I do now? He's like, send him back out there. So he sent him back out there, and right before he got to him, he growled real loud and grabbed him. He said from then on, every time that dog would go get one, dead or not, he'd growl right before he got to him.
Letting him know, like, hey, I'm the boss.
Yeah. But I thought that was a pretty cool story. I was like,
Yeah.
Because he's like, dude, some of them things are mean. Like, they peck their eyes out or what, or drown them if you got a big enough
So,
one.
like, you get sandhill cranes. And,
that's
sandhill cranes have, like, this spur.
Freaking beak.
And, no, it's a spur. And they've been known to kill dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, like, they'll kick the crap out of a dog.
That's wild.
Shop
They call them
holes.
like ribeye of the sky or something like that.
They're delicious. I've never had the pleasure of
Really?
getting to hunt them.
Cranes?
Apparently so, yeah.
Sandhill crane is the ribeye of the sky.
Ribeye of
Even
the sky.
Even
Yeah.
Evan's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bomb.
I have heard them called that, Jace, but I'd never really thought much about it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Are they a
meat.
pretty big bird, like their body wise?
Well, they're tall, but
They
they're
look kind
not
of bony.
They're not very heavy because, of course, they've got to fly, so
Yeah.
they couldn't really be weighed down with a bunch of weight. But they're a pretty tall bird.
Because
and
I've heard them flying over, and I've heard people be like, "Oh, I hear them geese." I'm like, "No,
no, them sandhills.
yeah, them shop holes, baby."
So how long did it take you to learn every species of bird?
I still don't know them all.
That's crazy.
It's like a logger in
You
the
know-
woods, picking
Just
out all the trees.
Yeah.
There's some people that just got a knack for,
Yeah.
duck hunting, being able to be like, this dude flies over at like Mach 1, and they're like, "Oh yeah, mallard." And they're like,
Well,
Yeah.
the good thing around here is you don't see a whole lot of different species like
Right.
pond hunting. You get your mallards, you'll get some gadwall, you
Wood-
get wood
wood
ducks, hooded mergansers. You can kind of pick those apart from each other.
Yeah.
right.
Wood ducks and hooded mergansers look pretty similar flying. So if it's dark, it's kind of hard to tell.
But they're both legal to shoot, so.
Yeah. And your hooded mergansers actually don't count towards your duck limit. You can kill 2 hooded mergansers a day, 6 ducks a day, 3 geese a day. So, I mean, theoretically,
Golly.
you could shoot a lot of birds in a day.
What about teal? Do we got teal?
We actually have an early teal season. It's in September, October, somewhere right there at the end of September.
Gotcha.
And we have an early wood duck season, which a lot of states don't have an early wood duck season. So we get the opportunity to shoot 2 wood ducks a day during that early season. I think it's only like 3 days though.
Right.
And you can shoot 2 wood ducks a day. You can also shoot teal pretty much for that whole week. And you can kill 6 of them a day towards a full limit. 2 of them can be wood ducks. You can have 4 teal.
So the teal are small and fast, right?
They're very small and fast, little blue bombs.
That's what I've always heard too. Like,
But they come in wads. Like they'll come in a group together. So last year, me and my buddy, we were hunting some public land, and it had been full of wood ducks. And of course, we go back in there, and there's not a single wood duck. And we go to pack up, and he's
Boom,
like, teal,
teal.
teal. And they're just like, come like flying in. And we ended up we knocked 4 out. So
well, that's pretty dang
yeah,
good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
What the heck? Dude, so I know a drought right now is a big issue for
All over
duck
the
hunting.
country, man.
Yeah, the
Mississippi River, man.
Yeah, that's-
My dad was telling me, they were saying like it's the lowest it's ever
It's
been
ever
in
been.
history, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother-in-law works for the Corps of Engineers on the Mississippi River, and he was telling me that this is literally the lowest the river
Ever.
has ever been
Recorded wise.
recorded. Yeah, and then he was telling me it was either last year or 2 years it was the highest it's ever been or something like that. So just
Crazy.
over the course of small period of years that it's seen its highest and its lowest.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, good news about that is maybe it'll push some birds this way this year.
Dude,
They need
that
to
would be
find
awesome.
need to find some more water.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, just going back to your drought thing, like my dad, he has to travel the country for work, and he's like, dude, there's nowhere that the leaves are this pretty anywhere else. And I've talked to a couple of people that say, that live in East Tennessee and West Tennessee, and like, dude, it don't look like it does right here in the country about anywhere
Well,
right now.
I stayed out in Gatlinburg and Cades Cove last weekend, and I mean the leaves looked pretty good out there, but I think they look better around here than what they did out there, honestly.
Yeah, like down in Georgia and some of your southern stuff, like they're gone.
Yeah.
They're just dried up, shriveled up, and gone.
Did I tell you about the monster that walked through my campsite?
No.
Oh my gosh! This
While
thing-
you're in Gatlinburg?
we were staying in Cades Cove, and so I get there and I realized all I had on was my Crocs, and I was like,
gosh.
man, I don't have any shoes to walk around in the woods and get firewood and stuff. So luckily I have my trusty hunting boots I keep in the back of my truck, and a couple days before that, me and Justin had been hunting together and sprayed some of that Seymour deer on the bottom of my shoes.
Yeah.
And so I'm cooking dinner over the open fire. My wife says, she's like, there's a deer right behind you. I'm like, okay, we're in Cades Cove. Like, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
She's like, it's a buck. I'm like, okay, now you've piqued my interest a little bit. It's a big buck. And I turned around, and sure enough is like this 150, 160-inch deer.
Golly,
10 feet
dude.
away from me. So like I hurry up and get my phone, and I take like all these pictures like as he's walking through our campsite, following my exact footsteps.
What the heck?
That Seymour deer's good stuff, man. Dan DeWitt's got it going on.
Yeah, it's funny because I've got the Seymour deer,
Cooter juice,
and
Rookham.
Yeah, and Rookham.
My dad's got
I
them
haven't
all,
used
too.
them. I haven't used them this season yet.
Oh, they work.
Yeah, I need to actually open the bottles and start
They
using
do.
them.
I need to get some of it because where I hunt in Kentucky, you have to walk like a mile all the way.
Yeah.
You got to make a big like U basically to get to the spot you want to hunt, and I mean that's a lot of
Yeah, that's
scent
a
you're
lot of
leaving
movement,
behind,
yeah.
So I might need to get some of that,
Well, he's
Yeah.
got a pretty recent podcast with to talk about it
Yeah,
outdoors, guys. And if you don't know
what it
nothing
is.
about his products, then you need to go listen
it
in
out.
on that because it is
It's good.
very informal.
Well,
if you don't know much
That
about
buck
that kind of stuff.
literally followed my exact trail that I had walked through the woods collecting firewood.
Yeah, and that Seymour deer stuff is like, it's like a comforting.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he liked it. I mean, he was like, somebody's been here and this is
Right.
cool.
The amount of times that could have saved me is countless. I need to get some of this.
Yeah, that Seymour deer stuff is like it's used for like walking to
Yeah.
and from your stand, and
Yeah, when we go to trade shows, you'll have the opportunity to get some and talk to them.
Cool. I'm excited for those.
Dude, he's a nut, man. He cracks
he's
me
a
up.
cool dude, man.
Dude, he is funny. It was funny when he was explaining how to use cooter juice to me. He's like, I'm gonna tell you, this is simple. He's like, it's not crazy. He's like, it might be weird, but it's not crazy. He's like, go buy a pack of tampons, go buy some string, dip that thing, the cooter juice in that tampon. He said, just literally just go around where you're hunting and just make a big circle and just let that tampon just go around on the ground.
Same thing as a scent wick, but you probably get a lot bigger pack for a cheaper price.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, way cheaper.
Yeah.
Tampons and Ziplocs. I'm telling you, go listen to that podcast.
Yeah,
it's
it's
good.
good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, his stuff is good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other good ones on the market too.
I've been using a lot of Black Widow stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got like the buck lick butter and
My dad's been using some kind. I cannot remember. It's some company out of Texas. I'll have to bring it up the next podcast. But they got like some scrape juice and some similar stuff. And I mean, he just got it this year, but he's all high on the hog on it. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of see how it. I want to say it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's some company out of Texas.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We've probably seen their stuff at the trade shows too.
Probably.
I can't think of who that would be. Well, that's cool, man. Is there any other type of hunt you do? I know you're a big turkey hunter as well.
Yeah. Pretty much if it's got a legal season in Tennessee to catch or kill it, I'm going to try it out. Yeah. Of course, trout fishing during the non-hunting season is that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do.
You ever been to the Smokies?
Yeah.
That's fun.
You know, the sad part of it is the first time we went, my wife was pregnant, and we stayed at this Airbnb. The air conditioner broke at the Airbnb, so my wife's pregnant. It's 90 degrees. She's not happy.
On home.
Yeah, so I didn't get to fish much then. And then this past weekend, that was kind of my plan. I took my gear and was going to fish Abrams Creek a little bit. Okay. And then we got very cold at 4 a.m. And ended up tearing down camp at 4 a.m. And my wife was like, I want to sit in the truck and warm up. I was like, if I'm sitting in the truck, I'm going to be driving home. Yeah. So we headed on home at 4 a.m. and I didn't get to fish Abrams Creek. Some of those Airbnbs and Pigeon Forest, they're hit or miss.
Nothing against Airbnbs, but from my experience.
Have you not had good experiences with it?
No.
So there's actually kind of even a funnier story to that. So we get there and we have 2 dogs with us because they said they were pet friendly. And they neglected to tell us that they were going to have small goats and small children running around in the yard of the Airbnb.
See, that's the crap right there that I'm like.
Now, I will say the weirdest experience I've had when I drove to California, we found an Airbnb like halfway there to stay at while we were in LA. And we were in Koreatown. It was a cool town. But the weird thing is like, they didn't tell us. It didn't say that it was like a like multiple people could stay at that Airbnb.
Oh gosh!
I stayed in a shared unit once.
Yeah, it was a little.
I can already tell where this is going.
Yeah, it was a little weird. There were some weird people staying there. No offense to them, but definitely not my cup of tea. But we like get in our Airbnb. We unlock the door, and it's literally somebody's living room that turned into a bedroom. And so it was a little weird. And then we like go in there. We're like cooking breakfast and stuff. And I like look around. I was like, I've never seen these symbols before. And then it like hit me. I was like, these guys are part of the Church of Scientology.
Oh, goodness.
And the people who lived there lived upstairs, and they like came down and was like trying to convert us to go and like to the Church of Scientology. They're like, it doesn't cost like too much money. I was like,
yeah, I don't know if you've ever done any research into that,
costs money.
That was
Leah Romney's got a whole series on
that.
I did a paper
and it was
in high
mainly
school
like
about it.
People that had money,
like
actors and stuff.
Yeah, they robbed them people.
Oh, dude,
bad,
dude. Tom Cruise.
If you'll just pay,
Tom Cruise was like one of the
he still is, man. He still is.
Well, that might explain why he's
for $4 million. You can get to the next level.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful actor, but man, he's nuttier than a squirrel turd.
Oh, dude, it's wild. And I don't think that he does it because he believes in it. It's because he has very powerful people behind him that are also a part of the Church of Scientology.
Or he's spent all this money and is like,
might as well.
I'm turning back now.
I'm all in.
Well, there's like people that work for the Church of Scientology, and all their job is to follow him. Whatever he wants, he gets. Whatever he says for them to do, they do. It's the wildest thing. There's a Joe Rogan podcast. The guy that's the current, like, I don't know what I would call it, CEO, but the
boss.
The current guy that's over the Church of Scientology. His dad left the church and wrote a book about it. But that is a really good podcast because he talks about like how the church when he left. Like he's not allowed to talk to his son. His son like apparently wrote him letters and all this stuff, like basically calling him a piece of crap.
So was his son still in the church?
Yeah, no, he's still the CEO. That's what I'm going to call it. That's not what it is, but
pretty much it's a business.
Yeah. And the wildest thing is that the church is like tax exempt. Like they're tax free.
Is that basically the only reason that it has the name Church of Scientology?
I think so. Probably. And the guy that started it, I can't remember his name. I almost wanted
Ron
to say
Hubbard.
Yeah, Ron Herbert or something like that.
Dang, Terry knows a lot about this.
Yeah.
Earl Hubbard or something.
Yeah, I think it's Ron Herbert or something like
Yeah.
that.
It is interesting, ain't it?
Yeah,
Dude,
I've
so-
watched the Leah Romney and a couple of the other ones.
So-
I'm like, man, like I might be pretty naive and gullible, but I'm
But
not
dude, these
that
people
gullible.
I'm gonna just be honest. These guys are dumb. That's
Yeah.
what it is. But
See, I've just barely dipped my toe in it.
dude,
Obviously,
I read a
I'm
whole
not.
Just go
paper
home,
about
put
it.
what Netflix, Church of Scientology, and just watch.
Yeah, and look up some podcasts about it, and it gets really
So
interesting.
it's like, is it even open to like the public?
Yeah, no, there's a Church of Scientology like building in Nashville. Like, and the craziest thing is they have like billions of dollars behind them, and they'll go and just buy property, and then they'll build this church, and like nobody's there. They just have it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Having that money, I mean, are they doing good with it?
I mean,
For Hollywood folks.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
if you, it's
See,
interesting
that's
because
not
like
good in my book.
Yeah.
it's very interesting because like people who have like left the church and talk about it say that when you first get into it, it's like very helpful. Like they give you really good resources. Like if you're having mental like instability and stuff like that, they
So they're suckering you in.
sucker you in, and they're like, well, if you want to like do this, you got to pay more. And then they're like, okay, well, you've helped me this much, I'll give you the
levels.
money. Yeah,
If you want to reach that next level.
yeah.
So it's like, it's a
business.
how do
It's
I
a
say
business if you ask me.
That's what it sounds
mandatory
Yeah.
tithe.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a pyramid scheme,
Yeah.
but
So it's Church of Amway.
Church of Amway.
Yeah. You ever heard of Amway?
He
He said pyramid, so I thought of Amway.
I just think of like essential oils when you say
Yeah.
pyramid scheme.
Zizia.
yeah, stuff like that. But it's
But anyways, back to the Airbnb.
I had one time on Douglas Lake. Loved Douglas Lake to fish. This Airbnb was terrible. It had sulfur water in it. So we would,
Oh my gosh,
gosh.
probably stunk high to
no,
heavens.
so we like every year my family and everybody will all get together for a Christmas cabin trip basically. Well, this happens this year and we have sulfur water, so every time one of the 14 of us goes and takes a shower, the entire place smells like sulfur
And
water.
you smell worse after you get out than
Well,
you
you
did before
smell
you got
worse, and then it was supposed to be like a 2-night, like 3
3-day, yeah.
3-day type thing. I think we stayed one night, played our like steal the Santa Claus game or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and we dipped.
Just
It
dipped, yeah.
was not
That's
a good
funny,
time.
I've had some interesting experiences. One time we booked a campground on Airbnb, and we like double checked the address. We drive there. This was the same trip actually when we drove to California. We were on our way back, and it takes us to the middle of a suburb, and I was like, "This isn't right." I double checked the Airbnb, and I was like, "Nope, this is the right address." So we drove around for like 20 minutes trying to find this thing, couldn't find it. So
yeah,
we-
so
we-
not starting out on a good foot.
yeah, and we like call the number, and it like was an out of country number, and we didn't pay
Sketchy.
yeah, we didn't pay a lot of money,
Yeah,
so I
you
didn't really
got
care. Yeah, and so we ended up like calling Airbnb and getting refunded. And that same night, we were trying to find another one, so we found another campground, and we booked that one. So we drive like another hour and a half.
Oh my goodness.
And we get there, and it is a campground, but there was not a single soul at the campground.
Was it Campground Scientology?
It could have been. It really could have been, dude. And it was wild. But we were just like, well, did we stay here? And he was like, well, it's like 1 a.m. We should just stay here. And I'm just looking around, dude.
You're like,
And-
dude, did you get like a weird feeling?
Oh, I got the weirdest feeling in my entire life, dude.
Were you like, dude, no.
I was like, dude, let's just go. So we left, and we drove another like 3 hours, and then got a Motel 6.
Where was the like end goal for this trip? Were you just like
We just drove to California. When we graduated high school.
We've talked about this a few times.
Yeah, we just decided, we were like, hey, let's just do something. We're graduating high school. We've
Yeah.
never done this before.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
It is
well, and
cool.
at the time, I was wanting to move to California. Thank God I did not. But
No joke.
yeah, and
Might have lost you.
yeah, it would have been bad, dude. I would have lost myself, is what I would have done.
Wesley in the wild?
Yeah, more so. just
Literally.
like- yeah, just Wesley in a big city that shouldn't be in it. But it was a cool trip. We got to see a lot of stuff.
I'd like to get a redneck from California on the podcast.
Oh, dude, I would
I
love
know
to. There's
several.
so many.
Dude,
guy.
being a gun salesman in Cookeville, which seems
Oh,
to
dude,
be where
it's the best.
everybody from California is coming, they all come to see me to buy their guns. And how many day wait you got?
Yeah.
None. Like you come in, you pass a background check, you get to leave.
Immediately.
They're like, what? Yeah. So all the rednecks from California love Cookeville.
Well, the
Dude, it's
podcast
great, man.
with Frenchie on it, man. We talked about California a little bit, man. It's just like
It's a different world, man.
Well, yeah, I had a buddy. He came and played football with me in my junior and senior year of high school. We went like turkey hunting and stuff together. He said that when they left California, sold their house, came to Tennessee, bought a house for half the price that was double the size.
Yeah.
He was cool, like he'd knock the crap out of you too in football, but
Yeah.
it was fun. We had some good hunts together. So.
Dude, it's pretty funny because I play that poker here in town, and there's a couple different bars I go to and play. It's free poker, by the way, just so the law knows. But I just got to point that out. But it's really cool because there is a lot of people that play poker that are from California, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people. But when you get to talking to them, dude, they're the most diehard American people you will ever meet.
oh,
There's some
dude.
troopers
I call
out
them
there.
political
Oh, yeah.
refugees.
Yeah, dude, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll tell them, I'll ask them like, where are you from? They're like, just like Sacramento or San Diego and stuff. I was like, what brought you to Cookeville? And they're like, don't get me started. Every time they're like, don't get me started.
How much time you got?
Yeah, it cracks me
And
up.
if you put them all in the same room, it probably the
Same
reason is
story.
probably universal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I mean that's kind of one of the cool things about my job is I get to meet a lot of people that are into the same things that I am, and you find out that there's people from everywhere that enjoy what we do.
Yeah. It's not just a Tennessee thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool. So how long you been working as what would your technical job title be?
So I'm the sporting goods manager at Big R.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So all your hunting, fishing, gun needs,
Yeah.
I take care of you on that.
Yeah, dude. And you do a good job at it too, man.
Thanks.
You do a solid job.
Yeah. Try to keep the latest and greatest in and
Yeah.
get people what they need, and
Yeah.
it's and get to talk about cool guns all day. So it's pretty easy.
I walked in there 2 weeks after I came to Tech. It was pretty organized,
Yeah, dude.
everything you had needed.
Oh
it
man,
was there.
I'd still consider it brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just had our grand opening about a month ago.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah. It's super
I
cool.
met Terry at Academy.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
I did too.
back when I started my sporting goods
I mean, that's
career.
been a couple years ago.
Yeah,
now.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. What were you doing before that?
I worked at Academy Sports, sold guns there. Before that, I trained horses and
That's
worked
right.
at a horse barn, and pretty much whatever the horse trainer asked me to do, whether it was cleaning stalls or riding horses, that's what I did.
So what made you stop doing that?
Just back injuries,
Yeah.
and just kind of got to the point where
Too much
The-
physical labor.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
yeah, and not enough money for physical labor.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
love
all.
horses too, man.
You're
fun.
you're just as much of a horse nut as I am an F1 nut.
I know.
It cracks me up when I talk to you about it.
If I ever come into some money, I will have some thoroughbreds.
Yeah, like are you talking racing horses or equestrian? Like, what are you thinking?
Oh yeah.
Thoroughbreds,
Thoroughbreds
racing horses,
and
man.
quarter horses.
Quarter horses, and like cow work. That's cool.
Yeah, cow horses.
Apparently, my grandpa's cousin, stretch here, I know. Apparently, my grandpa's cousin had horses.
cousin's
In Kentucky, bluegrass. No, apparently they had horses in the Kentucky Derby. Like, apparently he was loaded, so that's what they did in their like pre-time, whatever. But it's a pretty cool story.
I mean,
Dude, that cracks me
the
up.
one that won the Kentucky Derby this last
The
year,
long shot, yeah.
dude, he got in from a scratch on Friday morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Wasn't even supposed to be in the race. He was there as a sub,
What
and
the
just
heck?
so happened got in
Yeah.
and won.
And one.
What the heck?
There'll be a movie about it.
Oh
There's
yeah,
gotta be a movie
Disney.
about
Disney
it.
will have a movie
Yeah.
about that.
Oh,
Starring,
dude, I've
like,
watched
Ryan
Secretary
Reynolds
like
or something.
67
Yeah.
times.
Dude, you want to know something funny?
What?
I've never seen it.
Oh my!
Great movie.
Dude, it is a
Missing
great
out.
movie.
So, how many years ago it was that somebody won the Triple Crown or something like
Oh,
that?
dude.
Bob
4 years
Baffert.
ago?
Yeah.
American
Yeah.
Pharaoh won it in 15, and then Justify won it the following year or the year after.
Maybe
I want
that's
to
what
say
I'm
the
thinking
following
of.
year, wasn't it?
I don't really follow
I
race
mean,
horsing
Bob Baffert
much.
was the trainer
He's
of
the
both
biggest
of them.
trainer, yeah. But he's in a bunch of trouble right now over performance enhancing stuff. So
Over Medina Spirit,
Yeah.
but that horse ended up dying. But I mean, I don't know.
I think he's banned right now from Kentucky Derby for a few years or something.
Something like that.
Well,
but
let's talk business. Like, how much money are we talking here?
Have you been up to
Millions.
Kentucky and seen this?
No,
Oh,
so
have you ever
I've
been through
driven
Lexington, Kentucky?
multi-millions.
Like,
I've driven through it, and
we drove through it.
Yeah, and then we drove through Bowling Green as well.
Yeah,
Remember,
you're
'cause
right there.
I was like,
Yeah, you were.
dude, this is like my homeland
Yeah.
here.
It cracked me up, dude. I've never seen you seen you that excited about your wife, man.
For sure, man. I
It
was
is
like-
a business. It's crazy how nice some of this stuff is. It's nicer than my house horses are living in, you know?
And you think all these, I mean, the horses that have won the Kentucky Derby, however many that has been,
Yeah.
there's people that raise horses their whole lives and might not ever win a Grade 1 race.
Golly.
yeah, and then the offspring of the horse that you won with,
That's where you get your money.
Yeah.
breeding fees and stuff.
Yeah. So like they said, it's $1 million if you win the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
But that ain't a drop in the bucket
With how
The
much they put into it.
sponsorships and the breedings. And
with,
Like, how much are we talking for breeding?
oh gosh.
Like, are we about
It
to
ain't
start
just
business?
like an American thing either. Like, you'll got
Yeah, they-
guys from Britain and
Yeah, Coolmore.
Golly.
Coolmore Stables.
And somehow they end up in Kentucky.
Oh, they go to Australia. They'll ship them to, the UK for certain parts of the year to breed. And
everybody wants a piece of America, just like to point that out, you know?
yeah.
America.
Japan's got a big horse racing scene.
For real.
Oh, yeah. Saudi Arabia, they got a huge.
I could see
You know,
that.
something
Yeah,
about
or-
Japan that surprised me is their bass fishing.
Dude,
For real?
the biggest, is it
Like
the biggest
20
bass?
Yeah, I think it is the world record, like 20-something pounds
Yeah,
caught in
it is
Japan.
wild.
I like
Yeah,
Ja-
and,
I like
and
Japan.
Japanese, like, they have some very crazy specialty lures that come from Japan.
Takahiro Omori,
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
And then,
pretty cool
like,
stuff.
of course, Shimano reels,
Yeah.
which I consider to be the best reels. I mean,
I've got one of his reels.
yeah, they're
They
made
make
in
bicycle
Japan.
parts.
smooth.
Do what?
They make bicycle parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it on, but I don't know if it's the
They
same.
say,
I
I
don't know
know
if
I've
it's the
seen
same
it on a
company or
bicycle.
That's
not.
like Yamaha. They make trombones and four-wheelers,
Yeah.
Garmin makes watches, and they make the all the stuff.
They make
about
They
them.
make great
Them
watches.
old
too.
dog collars. Old shot collars.
They make, yeah.
I'm a sport dog man when it comes to my dog devices.
Yeah.
My brother's wanting a plot hound right now, and my mom's trying to point out to him, you got to get the collar, you got to get all the good stuff for it. And
I used to be huge into coon hunting
Yeah.
when I was
I
in
still
high school.
go.
Yeah, that's all my father-in-law. I mean, he's.
Oh, yeah. Me and you've talked about
yeah,
this.
Yeah, he's big time coon hunter. Hunts
Yeah.
those PKC hunts. It's pretty crazy.
So he's made money off of it too, hasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
PKC is like where you make.
That's
They got
like-
truck hunts and all
Oh,
kinds
that
of
was
stuff.
today. The restaurant we ate lunch in, they've actually got a picture of my father-in-law on the wall and the truck that he won.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I used to go every Thanksgiving Eve, Thanksgiving, whatever
Yeah,
it was.
Thanksgiving Eve. You
Yeah,
caught
we
that.
used to go it was on the schedule like every year until Mom found out we ended up in a pot field one time, and that put the end to that. But yeah, it was fun until it lasted, you know.
That's funny. dude.
Yeah,
I've never been coon hunting.
dude, it's fun. It is a blast.
It's fun.
Hunting is not catch and release. I'll start by saying that. And
Yeah.
coon hunters are all about catch and release. They run the dogs to the tree. Yep, there's a coon up there. Let's go. If I pack a gun 2 miles into the
It's
woods,
getting shot.
I'm shooting a coon.
Yeah. Well, I will. It's fun if you go with somebody who's got coon dogs, and
Okay.
for a coon hunter, they know what I'm talking about. There's a difference in
There's a difference
having
in going on a
a-
hike in the middle of the night and going on a coon.
having a dog that trees coon and having a coon dog.
That's wild.
Because my buddy that I work with, he's an avid coon hunter, and like Terry said, most of the time he just run and tree 'em, but he'll shoot one out every now and again just to
Let them know who's
But
boss.
they don't need it because they already know what they're coon dogs.
Yeah.
They know what they're out there for.
Yeah, how much? What's the biggest winning your father-in-law's gotten?
I'm not sure. I know that there was
The UKC
one
World
house.
pays like 150,000.
Golly, dude.
golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know like trucks, and I've seen some of the prizes, for the PKC hunts up at 100,000 and stuff. I don't know if he's got anything that
See,
crazy.
That's
but
wild.
They got PKC, UKC,
What's the difference?
ACHA.
It's
Just different organizations.
Different kennel clubs.
Okay.
And they got like the rules may be different
Okay.
for some of them.
And certain breeds of dogs only in certain things, like certain kennel clubs don't recognize certain breeds of dogs or something.
Like
Okay.
the UKC, they got like they recognize X-bred now. I don't know about the other ones.
I don't even know what that means.
That
My
means
uncle-
like
Crossbred.
not a purebred.
And we're talking about dogs, or
yeah,
Yeah.
It could be
Basically a
Walker mixed
a
with
mutt
an English dog. or-
hound.
So like, what does that process look like to win a competition like that?
Well,
It's-
I think a lot of it is coming up with the entry fee to get in, because I'd say if they're giving out prizes like that,
But you
You
got to
gotta
go
pay to
to
get in.
you got to go to qualifiers and RQEs and all that, and you got to place. You got to get cast wins and stuff to be able to qualify.
yeah. See, I honestly know nothing about
For the world
competition coon
and-
hunting.
So,
All
like-
I know is
So you're right. There is a process.
Okay.
And what that does is it's just like the playoffs in sports or anything else.
Yeah.
It weeds out the
wheat.
the cream of the crop's going to rise to the top.
the cream always rises to the top.
Got that right.
So like, what is not only that, but like, how do you not just enter a competition, but like, do you have like certain dogs and those certain dogs get scores,
I
or
know,
how does that work?
Like with the bird dogs, you have to become a member of the kennel club first, and then once you're a member of the kennel club, I think you can go to basically like your AAA ball. Like you get to go play AAA, and then if you do good in AAA, they bump you up to the majors.
Okay.
So that kind of
Well, that's kind of how you'll have your local qualifiers, and then you qualify, and then you go to your RQEs and all that, your regional qualifiers and all that good stuff. But when you go to the hunt, usually you have a 4-dog cast.
Okay. So like 4 dogs.
Yeah. And a lot of us know the rule book, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't been on a lot of,
Okay.
I've never been a competition hunter, but you'll have first strike, first tree. You see a coon, you don't see a coon, circle points, minus points, and then that's how you can
So
win.
it's like a point system. Almost.
Yeah, there's a point system in winning.
And like if you get to the tree and your dog's on a tree and then there isn't a coon in it, and isn't there?
Yeah,
some
you
kinda
can get circle points and minus points depending on the coon being there or not being there, or your dog leaving, and I mean you can get
I know,
scratched.
my
and all kinds of
father-in-law
stuff.
got this thermal monocular, and because I guess one of the big things, guys would get up to the tree in these competitions and they'd shine it up there, and yeah, there was a coon up there, and it was a star behind the tree, and they said, "No, that was a coon." Now you pull out that thermal monocular, and
You're seeing
no,
there's no debate.
there's nothing.
See,
in
now
that
there
tree.
has to, in some kennel clubs, you can use them to find a coon in a tree in some hunts, but there's some where you can't use them, or everybody in the cast has to be in agreement, and they all have to see it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's
I mean, that would be the only surefire way, really. I mean, you pull a thermal up there. If it's up there, it's going to show.
it's a lot of knowing the rule book, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been told, is that my father-in-law is a handler.
Yeah.
That he
A
knows
good
how to
handler.
handle a dog.
That's cool.
And I guarantee he knows the rules like the back of his hand.
Yeah. That's wild.
I'll tell you this much: my uncles, they spent the money to have like we were talking about horse breeding. They did it with one of the world champions or supposed world champions, something like that. That dog was a bust. I sat there and watched this dog run for 4 hours. We didn't see a dang coon. It was terrible.
So there's this huge controversy rumored story in the PKC with my father-in-law. He had this dog that he had won a bunch with, and somebody offered him $100,000 for the dog, and he turned it down. And while he was at the world hunt, somebody stole the dog out of the dog box.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And there was a big ad in the PKC magazine, lost dog,
Wow.
Yep.
That's wild.
And of course, they blood test them dogs. So I mean, if that dog was ever bred to anything else,
They would know.
they
They could
would've
trace
known.
him back.
Yep.
That's wild. Shoot, dang! I didn't know I was going to learn this much about coon hunting.
Dude, you're in amongst a bunch of dang rednecks.
That's right. That's right. God's country. That's where we're at.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's funny, man. Well, what else are you guys looking for? We're pretty much rut for deer. You guys have Jace? You have a target buck right now, or what is that looking like for you?
Every time this year, I made a food play. I paid somebody to go up in Kentucky and like clear out a spot that I could try to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hardly ever see deer moving until now, like all the big bucks. But I've started to get some pictures this past week. I was showing some people, and they're starting to move up there. So I'm excited. Like I said, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I think it's the 12th. It opens gun season in Kentucky. So I'm gonna.
So that's next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. So I bought a 6.5, obviously, because last year I had a heartbreak before I had a gun.
Yeah.
Probably would have killed a horse, but no, I'm excited about it. They're starting to move a lot. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. Look out for the content, because I might be on there. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be cool, dude. Well, I've got target buck with Terry. We've talked about him a little bit. Mr. Cletus, the trailer park buck, man.
The trailer park farm.
Yeah, dude. I'm super excited about this guy.
You know, he should have already been dead.
He should have been.
If we would have just had our bows with us that day, 18 yards, head down, turn the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like
He would have
10
been
different
dead.
times we could have shot that deer.
That happened to me last year.
Dude.
Oh man.
I'll never forget that moment. Literally, probably the most disappointing moment of my entire life.
Well, it was funny. Like, we were there, and I was like, middle of the day, late morning when we were there, I was like, probably not going to see anything. They've already done what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And we walk out into the CRP field, and I look up, and I can't remember if it was the doe first or that smaller spike that was with him. And I was like, oh, look at the deer. And then I noticed it was the 11-pointer.
Yeah,
And I was like,
Cletus.
there he is. And right then and there, he said, his name's Cletus.
Yep.
The trailer park buck. It's just fitting.
You mentioned earlier you got a lot of acres. You said like 5,000.
Yeah.
How many camps would you say you have out? A rough average.
Not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I probably would like to double what I've got now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only the farm that Cletus is on. That's like my primary farm that I hunt, and I run 4 cameras on that farm, and it's only 60 acres on that side of the road that I hunt, and the 4 cameras cover it pretty well. Then I've got a friend of mine's hunting on a place with me, and we've got a couple cameras on it. And it's only like a 15-acre spot, but it's just a really good cut-through spot. Yeah. So probably around 10 cameras we're running. But I've got, like I said, the one place we went to today, it's over 4,000 acres behind this that I've had permission on. It's so steep and stuff. Like, if I ever go hunt that, it's going to be a whim. It's going to be one of those things like I haven't seen anything on my farms where I've got the cameras, and then I'm just going to truck it in there and try to. Well, I mean, the farm we hunted today, I mean, I got permission on it 4 days ago. Yeah. Never ran a camera over there. Went based on seeing that one deer I seen from the road, and went and did a little scouting. And
that's what's good about saddle hunting. You can do that. I mean, it takes 15 minutes to get set up.
I was a hardcore hang-on stand guy. I was like, I only need one spot to hunt. I'm going to pick the best spot on this farm. And every year, I'd be sitting there in that tree, and it'd either be archery season, and they'd skirt me at 60 yards, or it'd be muzzleloader season, and they'd stay at 150 or 200 through some thick stuff. And it's like, man, tomorrow I would really like to be over there. Yeah. But with those hang-on stands, the permanent sticks that I was kind of using at that time, it wasn't happening. I wasn't pulling it down and moving it over there. And now just being able to say, that tree right there is where that deer walked under this morning. I'm gonna be there tomorrow morning waiting on him.
It's pretty awesome to be able to do. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And this is your first season saddle hunting too.
Yeah. Actually, my first sit in a saddle was that. I don't know if it was the opening of archery or what.
It was about a weekend, I think.
Okay, that Brought it there that morning. I had never even sat.
Yeah,
in one.
I was literally explaining how to use it right before we got in the tree. It was awesome.
Yeah. Got in the tree, sat in it, and I was like, "Yep, this is for me."
Yeah.
And
Did you use the XC or did you use the Arca?
I've got the XC. And but the one thing I am glad of is getting rid of that platform I was standing on this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you couldn't shift your weight on this thing.
I was squeaking like a mofo,
it was
man.
so.
It was so fun, dude. It was
It's a Hawk.
Yeah, it was a Hawk.
It was the only thing I could get at the time, and
Yeah.
but now I got me that new Mini Seeker.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about getting to rock that the next sit. Pulled the Hawk off of the sticks today and passing it on to somebody else and telling them to put some stealth strips on it.
Yeah,
because
for
it's
sure.
going to need some stealth strips.
Yeah, probably some grip tape too.
Yeah, definitely some grip tape. That top is slick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it served its purpose
Yeah.
for while I needed it.
And it's a really good budget.
Oh yeah,
platform
no
as well.
doubt. I mean, I would rather spend my money on getting the right ropes and saddle and being safely tied to that tree.
Yeah.
And you can kind of skimp on that platform a little bit to start out.
Yeah.
And, but the new platform, having
it's
those little
nice.
knobs on the top of it, my
Yeah.
feet aren't going to slide off of it. And Justin hooked me up with that AM Steel daisy chain.
Yep.
So I'm kind of excited to see how that daisy chain is going to work on that.
Dude, they work really well. It's super nice. It was pretty funny this morning while we were hunting. Both Terry and I have really bad allergies. And I'm not kidding you. It's probably like 7:05, man. I sneezed so loud it echoed.
Echoed all down through the holler. Like all you could hear was just this big
Yeah,
sneeze.
dude.
And like 5 minutes later, I shoot the buck.
Yeah, literally, I was like, the hunt's over. That's literally what I said. I was like, we're not.
that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then
Dude, it is
10
so
minutes
funny.
after that bigger buck come in. We're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, maybe we need to be. Well, what I said to him, I was like, deer sneeze too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I sneezed last year and I had a coyote run to my tree. That sucker about died. He about caught one, not going to lie.
Dude, it was super funny. That's probably the loudest I've ever been in a tree, just with the squeaking, with us like sniffling, blowing our nose, everything. But still had some really good action today, man.
Yeah.
I think that's just proof to me that I probably shouldn't care as much as I do right now.
Well, we had really good wind.
Yeah, no, our wind was really
this
good.
morning, and
Super calm.
And they were kind of doing some logging there in the front of that property, so I think our noise might have blended in with some of that. And
Yeah, no, it was a good hunt, man. Well, Hunter, what are you looking forward to, man?
I don't necessarily have a target buck. I got a target size.
Yeah,
hard to
But,
meet those expectations.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like we said, kind of brown is down. Might shoot a doe Saturday morning. Might shoot the first thing I see, or I don't know. Just depends on how I feel.
yeah, I get that.
Depends on the weather too. It's kind of supposed to be warm. So it's kind of a bummer, but
I don't really care.
Saturday
about the
morning
warmth,
it'll probably
but
be a little crisp. But
that rain's the only thing that's got me worried for these muzzleloaders. You know, you get that powdered damp, and you're gonna.
I'm packing my bow Saturday, so
Yeah.
yeah.
75 in November is ridiculous, though. It's killing me.
Welcome to Tennessee, man.
I
Next
know.
day it's gonna be 30 degrees. Just wait.
That's it.
I don't think it'll be as bad as it was last year, though. It was
No.
like 71 on
Well,
Christmas.
I'll tell you
That's
from
wild.
the amount of fat that was on that deer that I killed today.
Oh,
If
dude,
that's
so
any,
much.
if that's any correlation to how our winter's going to be, we're going to have a cold winter.
Yeah.
Because
That's
that was
fine.
I grew up in Pennsylvania, and shooting buck up there and shooting deer up there, you know, they've got pretty thick fat on them. That deer I shot today had the thickest fat I'd ever seen on a deer.
Well, have
It
you
was
seen?
wild.
I mean, the mash is unbelievable
Well,
this year.
and we were hunting in an oak flat right on the edge of a cornfield.
That's where they're at.
So,
they're
I mean,
still on oaks. I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, they definitely are because we still had six different
yeah.
deer come in on us,
They're
all on the
still
oak
on
flat.
them oaks, man.
You got it on film, didn't you? A little bit.
I didn't get the shot because it was so like
Happened
out-
quick.
It happened quick,
Bang,
and
bang.
and also happened in the other direction that
I
we
got
were
you.
planning on hunting. But
yeah, he stepped out of the corn.
Yeah, it was wild.
Like, we were not expecting them to come from the corn.
Yeah, literally, we were holding a conversation, and then he just like looks over, his eyes got real big, and he goes, "Buck, buck, buck!" Like it was a very quick situation.
It's when you least expect it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the side that we were planning on shooting on, like we could see upwards to about 200 yards, depending on where we were looking.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, really open woods, like virgin timber.
yeah. And, I mean, literally, most ideal spot I could dream for.
Yeah,
and then to see that buck, man, I'm still drooling over that thing, man.
Well,
was
hopefully Saturday
He's going down.
we'll just have to make sure that keep the camera over towards me. That way I can get it on him and let you smoke your first buck with the muzzleloader and
That'd
be
be
a
cool.
stud.
If I have, I'm going to bring the bow too. If I have the chance to take the shot with the bow, I'm going to. But I'm also not going to leave without a deer on Saturday. So
I'm fine with leaving without one, but I don't know.
I still haven't killed anything, man.
I haven't either.
I mean, I technically killed one, but lost her and
You'll
can't
have
find
that.
her.
You'll
Yeah.
have that.
It was a sad day, but
You know, that's one thing I've been super lucky, and I'll knock on wood. I've never lost a big game animal.
for real,
Yeah.
yeah. I cannot say the same. That is number 2 for me.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Did you see that deer that got posted on Facebook that like had been shot in the head with an arrow and survived?
Yeah, that was like in the middle of Nashville. Or
No,
something,
no,
wasn't it?
not that one. This was one that this guy found dead, and he had thought that like he had been in a fight with another buck because there was an antler sticking out from underneath his eye, and he had thought that like another buck had broke his antler off in him, and when he took it to get it mounted or European mounted, they're like, no, there's 4 inches of arrow going through this guy.
Oh my
And
gosh.
where it poked that hole underneath his eye, like I guess his body was like, okay, if there's a cuticle or a hole, we need to put an antler out of it. And he just had like this one hook antler that came out underneath the eye.
Mine was wacky. I killed 2 years ago. And apparently, you were kind of talking about this, or Chad won. It gets hit on one side, like by a vehicle or something.
Yeah,
and
the
it
other
affects
side.
the other side. I didn't know that, but the deer. Hopefully, if I could get a picture of it out there, it'd be pretty cool. But it's wild how that works, correlates. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I've seen some funky bucks this year. It's been pretty cool, honestly. Some interesting looking ones, like 16+ inch spikes.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, that one we seen that day when we were scouting
Yeah.
over on that backside, like
Dude, it was like a 2-3-year-old buck, and this dude literally had
cow
like
horns.
Is that the one you
Yeah.
posted the other day?
maybe, I can't remember.
There was one that we posted, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty chill. So,
Well, heck yeah, man. How are we on time? 8:02. Well, Terry, is there anything else you want to say, man, before we go?
No, just keep on hunting, and hopefully we'll land that first buck for you this year.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
check out Big R.
Yeah, check
go
out
to
Big R. Come
Go
see
talk
me.
to Terry.
All our guns are on sale right now.
Okay. What's your recommendation?
Depends what you want it for.
All right, hunting rifle. What do you got?
I've got some Winchester XPRs, combo deals that have a Vortex scope on them.
It's nice.
$5.99. I mean, Vortex
Shoot,
scope
dang.
alone's $150.
Yeah.
I mean, so pretty quality rifle with a good quality glass on it, and get you out in the deer woods. Plenty of ammo. Got all the muzzleloader primers and everything for this week for the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything you need for the hunt for the rest of the year, come see me.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. Well, what's your Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that?
TN_shores_outdoors.
Okay, cool.
On all platforms.
All platforms. Heck yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being on the podcast. Hunter, it is great as usual. Jace, thank you for coming on. Terry, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
as well,
man, my pleasure.
So, everybody stay safe. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.